Hi, welcome to Broadway Speaks Out. This is your host, Martin Gould Cummings, and we're sitting with Katrina dideriksen and Joe Iconis, who are in Things to Ruin at Second Stage. So hi guys, welcome.
Hi.
So why don't you both, you're the writer of the show, and you are one of the many amazing performers in the production, so why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the development of this production, how it came to be?
Okay. We've done the show a couple times. The first time we did it was a couple years ago, and I'm a musical theater writer, and I sort of originally did it just to kind of get just have a forum for my songs. You know, it's pretty hard to get a production of your show in the current state of musical theater. So it was really just a concert as a night of my songs. So we kind of did it once, and then been working with this director John Simpkins over the subsequent couple years, and it sort of turned into this thing that's it feels like its own thing. You know, it sort of just started as a review. It's kind of feels like an evening of theater, I think. It's really fun.
How did you get involved with the project?
I've known Joe from NYU since 2001 when we were babies, and he asked me to do his junior recital when I had just come in, and I think I was the only freshman that got to do it that year. I think I was the only one that did your junior recital. Thanks to Home from the Wiz, which is what I sang for him beforehand. But and I learned his music, and ever since I actually sang the song Almost There, which is in Things to Ruin. Then that was the first song of his that I ever sang, and I've been singing it subsequently since 2001. So.
And working with the rest of the cast, a lot of them are seasoned people who have done Broadway and tours. So what is that as a collaborative project, working with everybody? How did that come to?
It's sort of, I kind of have this group of performers that I work with a lot. It's sort of this weird kind of repertoire company, you know. And, it's just I find myself attracted to people who aren't sort of a typical musical theater performer. Even though there are some very credentialed folks, I feel like I'm kind of drawn to people who aren't necessarily the most sparkly, clean, prepackaged musical theater performers out there. So over the past couple years, I feel like I've kind of collected people and sort of hop on the bandwagon.
You got a little company.
Yeah. It is. It's a weird little company.
We're a family.
We are.
We hang out together outside of the show all the time, and
You're at Dalton.
Yeah, we're at Dalton's right now, where you get 20% off if you come to the show before or after.
Best bar in Hell's Kitchen.
So good. But we come here all the time, and after the shows, we always want to hang out, and
Yeah, it's really funny. And it's sort of I see so much of everyone.
So there's no
shows.
there's no ego, it's just
one
big collective project.
Not even a little bit.
You can't really have an ego with us. I mean, we just like to play around. We'll sit around his apartment and we'll jam out. We'll, just watch random YouTube videos or that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
And I think ego just gets in the way of remembering why we all want to do it in the first place, which is that we all love his music. We all have a great time hanging out together, and we really support each other in what we do.
Well, speaking of your music, your shows have played some of the most popular venues here in New York, Joe's Pub, the Zipper Factory, and the Laurie Beachman. So as a writer, who were your influences growing up and as you developed your music?
It's funny because when I was in high school, middle school, high school, I sort of only listened to musical theater. I was a huge musical theater geek. I didn't know anything outside of musical theater kind of existed. So I'm a huge Kander and Ebb fan. Sondheim, the big ones. Little Shop of Horrors, my first musical. I love that show. So I loved those guys. Then I got to college and I sort of didn't listen to a lot of musical theater at all. I sort of just went for rock and roll, Rolling Stones, and I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan. She's my favorite songwriter ever. Yeah.
We love Dolly Parton. We'd love it if she came to the show.
Yes, she needs to come.
I have a Dolly story from this as well.
Oh, really? But I love Dolly Parton. Harry Nilsson, a bunch of people. And I also sort of feel I'm very influenced by people who aren't musicians. Huge movie fan, I'm a huge Robert Altman fan, and I like E.T. E.T. is very influential. The Muppets, I'm a huge Muppet fan.
So just pretty much any pop culture thing you just
sort of
use into your
music.
music.
Kind of. I think so. Yeah, I think it's a product of all those things.
It definitely shows. When you see the show, it's a collective, eclectic form of music. And Katrina, as an actress, you not to bring up the hairspray stuff, but you did every form of hairspray there is as
A
crazy.
lot of incarnations, yeah.
So working with people like Harvey Fierstein, what did you take from that experience to bring into this kind of show?
I mean, I think the basics always apply, which is what I said before. I really, when I first got involved in Hairspray, it was the very first thing I'd ever done professionally, and it kind of scared the living bejeebus out of me. I felt very green. I didn't feel like I belonged, and I didn't really know how to handle it. And eventually, through the years, because I was in so many different versions for so many years, I really just went back to the basics, which was remembering that I love to perform, and that's why we're there to do it. And Harvey sort of took me under his wing when we did Vegas together, and he, I call him on Mother's Day. He's my mother. I did call him on Mother's Day to wish him a happy Mother's Day. And, you know, they really reminded me that at the end of the day, we're all people who are just getting to do what we love for a living, and that is by far the most amazing thing to me, whether it be on a Vegas stage, whether it be on a Broadway stage, or whether it be with Joe in his apartment. Like, that's the most important thing by far.
And I think that's important for all the little young musical theater fans out there to remember. So with the show, you guys have how many performances left on second stage?
Only 2.
2. And what are the dates of that so we can all...
It's this coming Sunday, which is May 17th at 7 p.m. And it's Monday night at 8 p.m. So for all those people who are in shows, you can totally come.
On the Monday night. And second stage theater on 43rd, and it's 25, right?
$25, which is like the price of a lotto ticket for anything else, or actually less than a lot of other lotto tickets.
It's like 10% of a ticket to Shrek.
And you might get a free shot.
Mm-hmm.
Shot of Jack Daniels in the middle of the show. It's very possible. Just saying. Just saying.
All right, well, thank you guys so much, and thanks for sitting down. So, Things to Ruin. Come see it. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Joe.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.